The Douglas DC-4 is a four-engine propeller-driven airliner developed by the Douglas Aircraft Company. It served during World War II in the Berlin Airlift and into the 1960s in a military role. From 1945, many civil airlines operated it worldwide. Design and development. After the DC-4 proved to be complicated to maintain and uneconomical to operate, Douglas responded to requests by Eastern Airlines and United Airlines for a smaller and simpler replacement. Before the definitive DC-4 could enter service, the entry of the United States into World War II caused production to be channeled to its military, with United States Army Air Forces aircraft designated C-54 Skymaster and United States Navy aircraft designated R-5D. The first, a C-54, flew from Clover Field in Santa Monica, California on 14 February 1942. A total of 1,163 C-54 R-5Ds were built for the United States military between 1942 and January 1946. Another 79 DC-4s were built post-war. A variant was also built in Canada post-war as the Canadair North Star. Operational history. The DC-4 C-54 proved a popular and reliable type, 1245 being built between May 1942 and August 1947, including 79 post-war DC-4s. Several remain in service as of 2014. One current operator is Buffalo Airways of Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. Douglas continued to develop the type during the war in preparation for a return to airline use when peace returned. The type's sales prospects were affected when 500 wartime ex-military C-54s and R-5Ds came onto the civil market, many being converted to DC-4 standard by Douglas. DC-4s were a favorite of charter airlines such as Great Lakes Airlines, North American Airlines, Universal Airlines and Transocean Airlines. In the 1950s, Transocean was the largest civil C-54 DC-4 operator. Douglas produced 79 new-build DC-4s between January 1946 and August 9, 1947, the last example being delivered to South African Airways. Pressurization was an option, but all civil DC-4s were built unpressurized. Purchases of new-build DC-4s included Pan American Airways, National Airlines, Northwest Airlines and Western Airlines in the USA, and KLM Royal Dutch Airlines, Scandinavian Airlines System, Iberia Airlines of Spain, Swissair Air France, Sabena Belgian World Airlines, Cubana de Aviación, Avianca, Aerolíneas Argentinas, Aeropostal of Venezuela and South African Airways overseas. Several airlines used new-build DC-4s to start scheduled transatlantic flights between Latin America and Europe. Among the earliest were Aerolíneas Argentinas, Aeropostal of Venezuela, Iberia Airlines of Spain, and Cubana de Aviación. Basic prices for a new DC-4 in 1946-7 was around £140,000, £160,000. In 1960, used DC-4s were available for around £80,000. Variants. Main production airliner, post-war. Canadair North Star. Canadian production of a Rolls-Royce Merlin-powered variant, plus a single Pratt & Amp Whitney R2800 powered aircraft. Aviation Traders Carver. British cargo and car ferry adaptation. Notable appearances in media. The DC-4 featured extensively in the 1954 John Wayne motion picture The High and the Mighty. A DC-4 appears as the amalgamated airliner that must be piloted by stewardess Doris Day in the 1956 thriller Julie. The DC-4 was used for the 1957 thriller 0 Hour. Operators. Accidents and incidents. Survivors. Very few DC-4s remain in service today. The last two passenger DC-4s operating worldwide are based in Johannesburg, South Africa. They fly with old South African Airways colors. There is ZS Orb, Outaniqua, and ZSBMH Lebombo, and are owned by the South African Airways Museum Society and operated by Skyclass Aviation, a company specializing in classic and VIP charters to exotic destinations in Africa. A 1944-built DC-4 is currently being restored in New South Wales, Australia. Buffalo Airways in Canada's Northwest Territories operates roughly a dozen DC-4s, 4 for hauling cargo and 3 for aerial firefighting. A 1945-built DC-4 CN 27370 is currently operating as a flying museum to the Berlin Airlift. Called the Spirit of Freedom, it has been touring the world for nearly 20 years. Two fuel carriers, Brooks Fuel and Alaska Air Fuel, also operate the DC-4 in Alaska. One ex-Buffalo DC-4 is fitted with spray bars on top of the wings and is currently based in Florida on standby for oil pollution control. Specifications. General characteristics: crew 4, capacity 40 to 80 passengers, length 93 feet 10 in, wingspan 117 feet 6 in, height 27 feet 6 in, wing area 1,460 feet squared, empty weight 43,300 pounds. Loaded weight 63,500 pounds. Max takeoff weight 73,000 pounds. Power plant 4 times Pratt & Amp Whitney R2000 radial engine, 1,450 horsepower each. Performance maximum speed 280 miles per hour. Cruise speed 227 miles per hour, 197 knots. Range 4,250 miles. Service ceiling 22,300 feet. Wing loading 43.5 pounds feet squared. Power mass 10.9 pounds HP.